Okay, well, welcome back. Unfortunately, my first device failed us, so we're going to take it from where we left off because I believe you'll still be able to see um, that first part of our live broadcast. I apologize. So I'm on a new device, and so far everything looks okay. All right. And so we were talking about cafe news and the fact that Mark Zuckerberg is attempting to reform, is lobbying for no reform or no regulation, I should say. He is reforming, but is lobbying for no regulation of Facebook. And the big question is, I think our best concern should be for data usage, right? How to regulate data usage and, of course, protect the rights of individuals who are putting their information out there on these various social media platforms and with the email and all of that. I mean, it's out there, it's out there. So let's, hopefully we can get our elected officials to focus on how to continue to protect the privacy of the users. All right. And then, of course, Google made news. There were rumors out there that they were working to update their Gmail, and they did not confirm it, but they did say they are doing some things. It's still in infancy stage, so they're not really saying a whole lot, but there is a report from Android Authority that suggests that the new Gmail could look a lot like the current Gmail mobile app. With some nice upgrades, right? So all we can do is stand by and see what happens. But the last time Google overhauled its Gmail website was back in 2011. Oh, and by the way, Yahoo email users are now being prompted to agree to a new set of user policies. So I think that's pretty interesting in light of all that's been happening with all of these tech companies and social media companies these days. And of course, this is important news for those who live in Chicago and certainly those who appreciate this retailer. What was once known as the world's largest retailer is now set to close the last store that's operating in its hometown of Chicago. That's that Portage Park location in Chicago. Sears. Yeah, Sears. I remember as a kid hearing the commercial, Sears has everything. And, it was a big deal to go to the Sears department store because they did, in fact, have everything. Well, it first opened in Chicago 93 years ago, but had been operating in the state of Illinois for 120 years. However, the store's closure in July won't be the end of Sears' presence in the city. They do have their parent company, the headquarters there, and they employ about 150 people who are left there in the Chicago downtown office. Now, Kmart still has one Chicago store operating, and then there are other Sears locations in Illinois in North Riverside, Niles, Chicago Ridge, Vernon Hills, and other locations. The store that was in the Oak Brook Center closed last summer for renovation and for downsizing. So we'll just have to, keep our fingers crossed for Sears, right? It's always hard to lose those iconic businesses and brands that we grew up with or our parents grew up with. All right, and then in other news, have you heard of MailChimp? Well, it's going to be a new word that you're going to start to hear here in the United States. It's already known internationally. And what is it, you ask? Well, it's a combination of this, ketchup, and this, mayo. Now, the company that has created this MailChimp announced on Twitter earlier in the week that they will be introducing this pre-mixed mayonnaise ketchup product to the United States consumers very soon. Of course, Kraft Heinz headquarters is located here in Chicago. And they also have a Pittsburgh location, but they took to Twitter to sort of get some ideas from users there on how they felt about this product. A great way to do some sort of pre-marketing prospects or campaigns to get those ideas. So anyway, what they're doing is asking, or did, was to ask people how they felt about this, and it stirred up a debate. You know, there were some people who thought it sounded disgusting, and there were others who said they kind of did that anyway. And of course, folks out of Utah said, hey, that's fry sauce. What is fry sauce? Well, in Utah, it's the mayo and the ketchup combination. They've been doing it for a while there. And it leads us to our Cafe Talk question, which I put out there, a kind of lighthearted question based on, you know, all the tough news that we've been hearing this week. Have you ever mixed ketchup and mayo? I know we have when I was growing up, and even still now, sometimes we do it. So based on what you like most, you just take a little bit of mayo and a little dab of ketchup. And then you stir it. Mix it together, and then you use it for whatever you choose to use it for. Your hamburgers, your lunch meat sandwiches. You can use it as a dipping sauce for vegetables, whatever you choose to use it for. And, you know, you make it to taste, you know. If you prefer more ketchup, then you add more ketchup. If you prefer more mayo, then you add more mayo. Now, one of the big questions for Chicagoans is this something that you would put on your hot dog? All right, we shall see what happens. And again, we do have that Cafe Talk question out there, everybody, which is, have you ever mixed the ketchup and mayo prior to this new product that's going to be introduced to us here in the United States by Kraft Heinz? Yeah, we'll get to Facebook and some of the other social medias in a bit. And if you happen to be watching this live broadcast, give us a call at 815-593-1695 and let us know that way. If, you know, call me and we can actually talk to let me know if you've ever mixed the ketchup and the mayo before, or text me if you don't want to talk, okay? So that's 815-593-1695. Text me or call me to let me know if you have done that with the Cafe Talk question, mixed mayo and ketchup before. All right, and while we're waiting for the text calls or an opportunity to get to Facebook to see how people responded, we will look at some entertainment news. All right, so American Idol and The Voice are in full effect, everybody, in case you did not know. And boy, they're both good. I mean, they found some very talented people for this new season of both. Now, American Idol you can catch on Sunday and Monday on ABC, and The Voice on Monday and Tuesday on NBC. And again, it's good. All right. And then earlier this week, actually yesterday, I believe, Dancing with the Stars announced their new lineup on Good Morning America. And guess what? They're all athletes. And this is something that, you know, I would comment on from time to time. And I think other people have suggested it too. And I guess producers were listening and they have done it. It's all athletes. Yeah, you know, we talk about whether or not during the competition when they have athletes, is it fair to everyone else? Because athletes are generally in better shape, you know, than most of us. and they seem to have an edge in the competition. So this go round, this new season of Dancing with the Stars, it's all athletes. Adam Rippon, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Tanya Harding, Josh Norman, and Arike Angubodawale, who is, I know I messed her last name up, but she's that Notre Dame basketball star. Yeah, on the women's team. She's going to be there as well, and many other athletes. So that new season will kick off Monday, April 30th, 7 Central on ABC. Join me as I watch this journey of the new season of Dancing with the Stars. All right. And then Grammy Award, Oscar Award winning R&B soul singer balladeer Peabo Bryson unveiled his new single earlier in the week. It's entitled Love Like Yours and Mine, and it's from his much anticipated album that's going to be released at some point this summer. So for all of you people who've been looking out for some new Peabo Bryson music, it is now out there. You can take a listen at Peabo Bryson, that's Peabo Bryson, BRYSON.link.to/Love Like Yours and Mine, and enjoy it. It is a beautiful piece, and of course, if all of that is too much for you to write down or try to get to, just Google it, all right? And it'll pop up. Also, Chicagoans are getting ready to laugh their butts off. Kevin Hart is in Chicago at the United Center tonight and tomorrow with his Irresponsible tour, and it should be hilarious. And of course, you can go to Ticketmaster.com for more information on that. And we definitely want to congratulate the women who have been drafted into the WNBA. Congratulations to all those ladies. The draft took place earlier in the week. And then just a quick reminder for all the pro basketball fans, we are in the beginning stages of the NBA playoffs, which will start. Well, I think they already started, but I know tonight there will be some games, and I definitely will be tuned in as soon as I'm done working later on. All right. So NBA playoffs in full effect. Listen, for years, for the last 2-3 years, people have been complaining about the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers always ending up in the playoffs. And so now, we're hearing that Houston, the Houston Rockets may be the front runner in all of this. So I'm keeping my eye on Houston. I haven't quite committed to who I want to cheer for on the East yet because I'm an East Coast girl, but Houston may actually take it. So we're going to keep an eye on that and see what happens. I was thinking back when the Chicago Bulls had their run in the early to mid 90s, were people complaining? It's always the Chicago Bulls winning. I don't recall that. At least here in the Chicagoland area, we were not complaining. Those were good times. Oh, I certainly dream about them. But I have faith that one day, and I know one day is not an actual day, but soon the Chicago Bulls will be back in the runnings for an NBA championship. I just got to hold on to that and believe it. All right, you ready for Passion for Fashion? Here we go. Not only does April showers bring Mayflowers, but they also bring out the classic and not so classic trench coats. That's right, for the rain. Well, listen, these trench coats, I've been checking online. These trench coats, are now available in leather. Some of them have pleats. Some have floral prints on them. Remember last week we talked about how flowers and floral prints were the big trend for the spring season. Some of the trench coats are even whitewashed denim. Amazing, right? Some are tailored fit as we are used to seeing them, that classic trench coat look. And then others are oversized. So whatever kind of trench coat you pull out of your closet this spring, make sure that you have fun with it. And of course, you want to stay dry. All right. And that's our passion for fashion. Now let's get back to cafe talk. I lost a device. I had to, my first device that I was using to do this YouTube broadcast is just stuck. It's froze. So I can't even use it to do the Twitter and Facebook. So I'm going to have to quickly use another device here to log on to see if we have some responses to our Cafe Talk question, which is, have you ever mixed the mayo and the ketchup for whatever dish or sandwich or meal that you were eating? So we're going to go here and see what kind of responses that we have. Again, as a kid growing up, I know that we did, and I know a whole lot of other people who did. And, it was just something that happened. I think because you mix the stuff anyway when you put it on the breads, right? You put the mayo on or the mustard or the ketchup, and somehow you just got the idea to just kind of pre-mix. Boy, too bad we didn't patent that idea and present it to Kraft Heinz, right? All right, so real quick, let's go here and see what we have. This technology is a bit slow, so bear with me on the responses. Let's see. Come on. Let's see here what we have. Well, I hope this is working, and I hope that someone out there is taking a look and seeing the live. When you go live, anything can happen. I can attest to that, as my first device just kind of conked out on us. But we'll get things together before our next live broadcast, which will be next Saturday. And the week after this week coming up is National Dance Week. Yeah. So I'm sorry. Yeah, National Dance Week. So make sure that you go somewhere and do your dance. Come on, slow phone. I tell you. All right. Well, anyway, while we're waiting for Facebook to load, just to pick off where we left off last week with my addressing what happened to the radio show, folks asking, what happened? What happened? Why aren't you on the air anymore? And then, prior to that, people were asking other questions about what was happening at WJOL with my show, with me as a talent, and so forth and so on. And I think I'm sure that I left you with the awareness of, the type of station WJOL is, the format being talk format, mostly conservative, political type talk, with the exception of the 2 local shows that come on during the week. And so just kind of paint a picture of the mindset that may be happening with some people there, if not locally, perhaps on a corporate level. But, in case you didn't know it, I'm a Black woman, African-American woman. And my ideas, my experiences don't really match up with the thinking or the mindset of some folks, the powers that be. So, of course, I'm not going to, and of course, this is not how I think or feel, but unfortunately, it's been the reality that I'm not going to be chosen or picked to advance in any way there because again, I don't get on the radio and bash groups of people because of their political affiliation or because of the color of their skin or because of how they grew up, how they were raised, what they believe. I just don't do that. And it seems like here in America, a lot of people are being paid to do that. And whether there's truth in what they're saying or not. So, yeah, I just, I am grateful for the experience that I had at WJOL. I am so grateful that that door was open to me. I had an opportunity to develop myself as a talk show host, something that I had never even considered because when I entered radio, I was a DJ slash announcer and kind of, over the years developed into a radio DJ personality. And when I approached the management of WJOL some 13 years ago about returning to the airwaves, I was told that it was talk radio, again, clueless about, what talk radio really was about. I did know about some talk radio shows, some of the big national level shows. And I just decided that I was going to be me and I was going to present information and news in a way that, in an honest way that I knew how, and of course express my experiences in life and beliefs as they were. I can't change who I am. And I was given that opportunity to do that. And I tell you, I had a ball and I watched the show evolve. In 2007, I started my first web page on Earthlink and connected with some people who showed me, introduced me to the world of blogging. And so I was able to expand beyond radio and start reaching out that way. And of course, then email was the big thing. I was communicating and meeting a lot of people across the country via email and with the blog. Then, of course, we upgraded to an actual website for the show in 2009, I believe. No, 2008. In 2008, we got an official website for the show and was able to share audio and all of that. And we, of course, have gone through changes over the years with the show, again, based on decisions beyond my control. But nevertheless, here we are 13 years later, 13 years in, and on this new venture to come to you on YouTube, online, on the World Wide Web. And I'm excited about it. I can't wait to see what happens with this. I know it's going to take time. I know that, everybody may not be on board with the YouTube. So I'll certainly try to share this on other social media platforms and the likes. So let's see, we got some likes here on Facebook. Likes and then a comment that yes, and it is good. It sure is good. All right. And I'm not going to even attempt to try to get to Twitter because we'd probably be here forever trying to get this older generation technology to hurry up and get us on Twitter. So, yeah. Oh, man, looks like we have a text. Let's see. Da, da, da. And this text says, yes. Yes. All right. So, yeah, I'm glad that you're tuned in. I'm glad that you are able to text me. And in the future, remember that you'll also be able to just call me directly and talk. And we should, have a good time, have some fun. All right. So I got to tell you guys what love is. Love is kissing and being kissed right back. All right, I like that. And of course, I got to tell you guys, if you don't do anything else this week, be sure that you live, you laugh, and you love. It's been a pleasure and a privilege. As always, we'll do it again next Saturday right here on Marilyn's Cafe Society channel on YouTube. Again, I'll share this on my Marilyn's Cafe Society on Facebook and send the link to the other social medias so that you can take a look at this. I do want you to find me on Twitter, Marilyn's Cafe Soc. I want you to go to Facebook / Marilyn's Cafe Society and friend me or follow me there. And of course, here on YouTube, I want you to like this and of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Okay? All right. I'm excited. Hope you are too. And in case you have not mixed this mayo and ketchup, give it a try. It's kind of tasty. All right. Peace, everybody. Have a great week.